I had never done this before. In fact, when we were building our house, I got really interested in it because I was able to watch all the different trades come in and do their work on building the house. I really loved the carpenters and watching them and seeing all the intricate cuts they did and all the different stuff they did. And then we had a decorator friend of ours who came in who used a gentleman who I really learned a lot from as far as doing a lot of the barn wood and reclaimed wood stuff. So it was really fascinating to me. Experimentation. Just going out and I would go out in the morning and in the shop and in the garage and just tinker around and kind of teach myself how to do all these things. And before you know it, it was dinner time, and I'd been out there for 17 upright player piano that I got, and I had to basically tear it apart, take it all apart, take the innards out, take the soundboard out, take the little harp out that makes music. Probably about 25 to 30 hours in this piece. And basically, we just stripped it down and made it into a really cool bar. You figure Music City, this would be cool in some musician's house. This was probably my biggest project I've done so far. Yes, I found this old off a barn, and it's the roof of a barn, and I decided I'm going to make it into a bar, the front of a bar. This is old antique wood, heart pine that came off this same little barn, and just a little table made out of an old sewing machine. Yep. You see a lot of those now. Mm-hmm. Here's kind of an interesting one here. Just found this at an old junk store. It's an old Craftsman toolbox. Yeah. And so you make it for like a kid's room, and it has like a tool theme to it, or something like that. That's just actually sold one of those the other day. That was similar to it. But a lot of the little stuff is what we find picking. I mean, just things that catch your interest. These old clowns, I think they were just totally cool, and they're paper mache, and they've got to be 50 or 75 years old, and the paint treatment on them just was really, really cool to me, and it just caught my eye, so I got them. I found them at a junk store down in South Tennessee somewhere. Here's a real stop sign, old wooden stop sign. These columns here I found down south also, and I had to save these. I thought they were the most amazing things I'd ever seen. Just the architectural part of them came from a house that was built in 1830s. So they're 180 years old, and they're still together with the capitals and everything, and I think they're just totally cool. All I did was built the stand so they'd stand up, just for display purposes, and you can just take that off if you want to build them in your house. This one here is just a kid's bar, or a kid's desk that they made out of just an old door, and we just put chalkboard paint on it so they can write their name on it, and I kind of built around this door. Put a little roof on it. In fact, I'd never used a chop saw, band saw, anything like that. Any kind of saw I'd never used in my entire life until I started. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm the ultimate perfectionist. So if somebody tells me I can't do it, I'm going to do it the next day. So I challenge myself at this just like I did at football for all those years. And each time I try to do this, I try to do something different to try to learn something new, so that I have kind of a well-rounded take on the business. And I think we've kind of found a little niche where we kind of find our little sweet spot, and we're going to stick with it.